Hello, I'm back to France, back to the land of garlic and baguettes. I even look like a French woman. Back to my kitchen and my washing up. Back to the housework, back to the hoovering and the ironing and the dusting. Back to my garden and my weeds. What a disaster. But back with my husband and back with Mandy. So, where was I all summer? Aha! Ta-da! In the land of the bobbies. I saw some policemen, but I didn't see the Queen. If you follow my channel, you probably remember that in July, at the end of July, I was going to Agen with my daughter, and we were going to participate in the language labs in Agen, which we did. And one day we were invited out to lunch by one of the people who watches my YouTube videos. Hello! But then we needed to get to England. We needed to go to England because my daughter was going to start school in England. And of course, it was a little complicated because of all the COVID regulations. First, we wanted to stay with my parents up in the north of England, so we booked a flight to Manchester in the middle of August. But then that flight was cancelled, so we were a little bit worried that France would go into the red zone for England and that it would be difficult to get to England. And so we changed the date and we flew at the beginning of August. So my poor husband stayed at home for his holidays with Mandy for 2 weeks. And we went to stay with my parents. I took 1 pair of jeans and 2 t-shirts. But guess how much luggage my daughter took? Guess how much she took? Go on, guess. 20? No, more. 30? No, a lot more. 90 kilograms. 90 kilograms of luggage, of baggage. Poor plane. We had to self-isolate. That means we needed to stay in one room for not 2 weeks, 10 days. 10 days. But look at the beautiful view we had.
Wow.
That's my mum's garden. But then after 10 days, we could come out of self-isolation and we could do some nice walks around where my parents live. It's quite hilly near where they live, so it's very pretty. And do you remember the story about Pendle Hill and the witches? Well, we drove over Pendle Hill and we didn't see any witches, but we did see a lot of sheep.
Ronnie's going to get attacked. What are you doing, Ronnie? I don't want to see a sheep being killed. Oh my god. They just really don't care.
And then guess what? We visited Samlesbury Hall, where my parents had their wedding reception. Do you remember the story about the White Lady? Samlesbury Hall is really developing, and they have a beautiful little restaurant on a terrace outside now. But when you arrive, you are greeted not by sheep, but by hens. They come all around you and they start pecking your feet.
Where's the other one?
Behind you.
At the end of August, we drove down to my sister's house with all my daughter's luggage, all her baggage, all her suitcases. So we needed to go in the camper van. So then at the beginning of September, I dropped my daughter off at school and said bye-bye. So I'm not sure when I'm going to see her again. I hope in the October holidays. That was in September. And now I am preparing to go back to England, to see my daughter. So I am packing bags again. I have packed a big bag for me and my husband. I have packed clothes and towels and socks. I think it might be cold in England. And this time we are not flying, we are taking Mandy. So we are going to go on the boat, on the ferry. So here I have my travel documents, our tickets and Mandy's passport. And in here, in my rucksack, I have a little roll of plastic bags to pick up Mandy's poop. And here I have, oh it's heavy, I have a bag of food for Mandy. And yesterday we made, I think, a very comfortable bed for our princess. And this is very important too. This box. But why is it important? Well, in England we are going to celebrate a lot of birthdays. My sister's birthday, my daughter's birthday, my husband's birthday, and my mum's birthday. So to celebrate a lot of birthdays. I have made a lot of cakes, and I'm going to put the cakes in the box. So now here I am back in France. I hope you had a good summer. Let me know in the comments. Here it's getting colder and autumn is coming. Look, the leaves are changing colour. So next week I have a very special interview for you. A special guest, one of my friends from Vancouver. So come back and listen next week. And I have put the links to the videos I mentioned in this video under the video. See you next week. Bye for now.